Last week 2K dropped patch 1.07 for WWE 2K26, and in my patch video, which if you haven't checked it out, link will be in the description below, towards the portion for universe mode, I said that I was going to do an entire video dedicated to it because they added a lot. And if you also remember in my first impressions video for 26, I said that does WWE 2K26's universe mode, does it have the same creativity, the same, vastness of the sandbox as something like a Fire Pro Wrestling World? And I said that initially in my first impressions, it had the potential, but there was just something missing. And in patch 1.07, they completely overhauled it. They added a lot of new things, and they added some good ideas. Some things they have that aren't perfectly executed. And in some ways, they kind of remind me of a ketchup sandwich, which, if you don't know what a ketchup sandwich is, when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, there was this book series called Hank the Cowdog. And one of the farm hands was a dude named Slim. And Slim had something called a ketchup sandwich. And one day I tried it because I would keep reading it in the book. And I was like, a ketchup sandwich, a ketchup sandwich. And one day I tried that ketchup sandwich. And it looked kind of plain, really. And then when I took a bite out of it, do you know what I had in that bite? I had the soft bread. I had the the juicy ketchup. Two things that, when they're added to something else, they taste great. But when they were combined together, it left a lot to be desired. It actually gave me a dry mouth. And I feel like 2K26's universe mode has that, because we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. Like always, timestamps in the description below. But one of the things that they added in patch 1.07 was a wear and tear system. If you sit down and actually read the patch notes, what it says was added wear and tear, the option to allow superstars to remain damaged when appearing multiple times on the same show. So in theory, it would work like this. Say some kind of way you have a storyline going on. Let's say there's a #1 contendership match. You have, I don't know, let's say you got Jey Uso and you got CM Punk fighting, and the winner of that matchup is going to face, like, let's say Randy Orton in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship or the Undisputed Championship or whatever you got. So if they was in something such as a last man standing match at the beginning of the show and somebody was busted open, and of course, they're going to both be severely damaged, by the time they get to the main event, they're going to still be bleeding and severely damaged. Now, this is what I thought and how I would assume the system was going to work. I saw people tweeting about it the day it came out, and they were still bleeding. And so when I did it, I had a match of Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor, an Extreme Rules match at the start of the show. In the match, Finn got busted open, he got damaged up pretty badly, and he lost the match. And I think also the Usos were in a tag team match against like the Vision or something. So in the main event, it was going to be Finn Balor doing an open call-out challenge. Jey Uso answered it, but Finn wasn't bleeding. Finn was still obviously heavily damaged. Jey Uso was also damaged. And so what I'm confused about is, was that a glitch on day one, and that if they were bleeding, they weren't supposed to still be bleeding by the time the match began? Or, that's what I'm kind of curious about. So what the hell is the logic? So while I was in the middle of editing this video, I recorded some more footage. And in that footage you see CM Punk, he got severely busted open in the match with Jey Uso, and then by the time it was the main event with Randy Orton, Punk was still gushing, he was still leaking out everywhere, he had the severe bruising, obviously deep tissue damage, and yet Finn didn't? So I'm really thinking that maybe it was a glitch in day one with the whole Finn and his blood just kind of sort of not being there when it should have been, unless maybe it depends on the sort of specific situation. Like, I don't know. Again, is this a bit of miscommunication on how this feature is supposed to work? Was it a glitch on day one where they're not supposed to still be bleeding by the time they get to that point? Or was it a situation of, was my game just glitching and not working properly, and so I didn't have the bleeding effect? So either way, there's some sort of a glitch, or maybe there's just a bit of miscommunication between it, or maybe, and if it's this case, then it makes sense. Maybe it's because it was the first match, and then obviously he wouldn't still be bleeding. But say it was something like a back-to-back match, and I had him do like a call out afterwards, immediately after his match, maybe that's how he would still be bleeding. I'm not really sure on the transparency of it, but nonetheless, still a cool feature that they've implemented. I've wanted it in the game for years. One of the things that was actually on my 2K26 wish list was an injury-like system similar to like NBA 2K. If somebody gets hurt in like a game, like they landed the wrong way, they collided on something, they should still be hurt, a couple of games later. So we're not fully there, but it's a step in the right direction. And so to continue this whole theme of new additions in 1.07, they added Rivalry Breaks, which is essentially the option to control whether rivalry matches or if a number one contender versus the champion matches are prioritized at PLEs. Because remember, again, one of the biggest issues in it this year was you could have two people in a rivalry, but when it came time to the PLE, they just wouldn't have a match. The champion would just fight whoever was the number one contender, which in a way I feel like it makes it somewhat realistic, but there should have been some sort of an option for you to have the rivalry person to interfere if they weren't going to have the match at the PLE. I think that would have made much more options for your storylines, and it would have been cooler if they added this in an update for the, the rivalry options. I don't know if that's something 2K would consider, but at the very least, I feel like if enough people brought it up or complained about it, we could see it into a potential update in 1.09. I don't think it will be somewhere as soon as 1.08, but like 1.09 or something. Then something else they added to go with the quality of life features is they've added watch show referee count option to control whether the HUD for referee countouts and opinions are shown in watch mode if you're, just watching the broadcast. At this point, man, you already know how 2K is getting down because they have added improved universe overall stability. Some of the things that they specifically did address, they addressed reported concerns related to match cards being reset if players were to leave universe mode. I don't think I've had this issue happen at all this year. I know it was a pretty big issue at one point. Was it in 25 or maybe 24? It was one point in time where there was a pretty big issue. Evidently, people were still having this problem, I suppose. Something else they did was they addressed reported concerns related to the Royal Rumble PLE generating 10-person Rumble matches. And as I stated in my patch 1.07 video, I can only imagine just how frustrating and annoying this was for players. And I don't think I've seen it in a while. I think I might have seen this happen in 2K23, but it's been so long that I just really don't even remember it. They addressed reported concerns that would cause the superstar setting of face or heel to not properly save. Really? For the portion of players who are heavily into the whole watching it just like it's Fire Pro Wrestling World, this is going to be really a huge thing for them, but they addressed reported concerns that would cause watch show to lose crowd audio. They addressed reported concerns related to custom superstars having 0 HP. I definitely haven't heard of that. One of the things they addressed was reported concerns causing managers and named referees to not be allowed to be a special referee. Concerns related to Titantron movies reverting when viewing entrances. Some of these, man, I'm just curious about how many people were affected by them because I never heard of any of this. They addressed reported concerns causing empty match cards to appear. Again, it's been a few years since I've, vividly remember seeing this. They addressed reported concerns related to camera issues when watching shows and during promos. Reported concerns causing matches to be copied between day 1 and day 2 of a PLE. Now, I will say, I did see this happen a few times this year. They addressed reported concerns related to superstar positioning issues with post-match interviews. I'm guessing this could have been that one clip that went viral on Twitter of AJ and Becky just being, shot into the stratosphere. I'm assuming this is what they were referring to. They addressed reported concerns related to incomplete news when completing specific rivalry actions. They addressed reported concerns related to multiple incorrect news issues during rivalry actions. They addressed reported concerns related to microphone issues during promos, concerns causing automatic rivalries to happen even when turned off. Really? Reported concerns causing selected rivalry actions to be overridden when saving changes twice. I didn't see this at all. Reported concerns related to various issues with props and cutscenes. Concerns causing championship matches not to be created when selecting a title match during promos. I think I did see this happen once. They updated various historical stats correctly. I wonder if that's something was wrong historically speaking, or if they've updated various historical stats and essentially of recent title changes. Like, when the game came out, Drew was champion, but now Cody is champion again, so I'm wondering if it was something like that. They addressed reported concerns related to an issue where Royal Rumble matches were not being generated in Superstar mode when selected from the managed Superstar menu. They addressed reported concerns related to Superstar not assigned to shows appearing as selectable when assigning titles. They made a few matchmaking fixes. They addressed reported concerns causing the division to screen to appear blank. I do think I saw this maybe once. They addressed reported concerns causing the incorrect Superstar to be announced as the winner of a Rumble match or a gauntlet. They addressed reported concerns related to swapping completed shows with active or upcoming ones. They also addressed reported concerns stopping players from editing AI attributes. They addressed reported concerns related to incorrect belts that were being assigned to matches. The controller select will now be shown before the match when using the next match button to go from one match to another. They addressed reported concerns related to inaccurate Days Hell stats being shown for certain women's championships. They addressed reported concerns related to vacant custom championships being totally removed from shows. They addressed reported concerns related to triggering the save changes to multiple modes pop-up when there were no changes to save. I did see this coming up a lot. It was annoying more than anything. So personally, I'm glad this is something they fixed. They addressed reported concerns related to several match types not being available when using a custom arena. I'm wondering if you can now use special guest referee matches inside a custom arena. At the moment, I don't have any custom arenas, but a lot of people have been rightfully criticizing them for the last year. Well, I guess you might as well say 2 years since we're on 2K26. Because in 2K25, people complain about it a lot. I think it was dumb that we never saw it get patched into the game. I feel like it limited the sandbox and player creativity and player freedom. Because honestly, what was the point of hyping up the return of special guest referee matches if we can't use them in custom arenas? I just felt that was dumb. They addressed reported concerns related to managers and Bloodline Rules teammates receiving win/loss credit after a match. They addressed reported concerns related to not being able to change the legend classification when editing a superstar. They've added entrances to several rivalry actions with pre-match cutscenes. Now, I'm glad they did this because what they did was they changed the Money in the Bank cash-in prompt to no longer stay active after triggering a cash-in. And the 1 or 2 or 3 times that I've done it so far, there were, I think, maybe twice where it would just kind of stay up on screen for a while, and it was just kind of in the way, clunky, and awkward. They've addressed reported concerns related to situations where the wrong referee attire would be used. By far, one of the coolest things that they did with this update was they expanded casual promo attire to apply to call out and interrupt promos, because one of the coolest things that they did add in the universe mode this year was you can have promo attires. Now, what's the only setback is you have to waste an attire slot, superstar slot to use, but once you have it, if you have a promo and you set it up in universe mode, whenever they come out, they will wear this stuff. For example, you can have Cody Rhodes in a suit, you can have CM Punk in his street clothes, Roman Reigns in like a tracksuit. So much more to go on with the presentation for your show. And I do think, man, that is, if I had to put it in a ranking, that's got to probably be a top 10, top 5 edition for universe mode, for universe mode in general this year. So I got to give 2K credit when it's deserved. And again, I hate to applaud the bare minimum, but it's good we still got it. Again, man, I don't know what's taking them so long to do it. I remember having to manually do it, like in 2K19. I wouldn't book a guy for the show if I knew I wanted to do a promo, and I would just have the attire change. So for you to be able to do this now without having to do all of the extra stuff, it's great. Another thing they did was they addressed reported concerns related to the wrong belt being shown in cutscenes. They addressed reported concerns related to incorrect information being shown when viewing a superstar with an alternate attire set as their default attire. They addressed reported concerns that could cause teams to disband. I'm assuming it would just be a random disband. They addressed reported concerns of some superstars becoming erroneously marked as locked after assigning an alt attire as their default attire. They addressed reported concerns related to a division rankings failing to save while editing a show. They've addressed reported concerns related to existing teams being disbanded when modifying allies or enemies. Now I can only imagine just how annoying and frustrating that was. They addressed reported concerns related to edited cast changes failing to apply for Cont victory motions. They've addressed reported concerns related to challenging another superstar to a special guest referee match during a promo, not resulting in a, you guessed it, special guest referee match once it was created. Or no, excuse me, it prevented it from being created in general. Made an update to prevent editing divisions with no available candidates. They disabled swapping to superstar mode when a calendar has no major shows. They've also addressed reported concerns related to various HUD issues that could occur when cashing in during a special guest referee match. And last but not least, they've addressed reported concerns related to an issue causing custom superstars to have a 0 hit point ratio. And then they've also made some changes to the draft. So the draft specific changes are as follows. They improved draft consistency and the overall stability. I don't know what they mean by draft consistency. You know, the example I keep bringing up was when I first hopped on it on version 1, well, I guess version, would it be 1.01 or 1.0? In my drafting universe mode, the AI drafted Nikki Cross with the 2nd overall pick, and it was just kind of insane because there were so many big names available on the board. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins. So I don't know if draft consistency is gonna fix the rate at who they pick. I'm assuming. They've addressed reported concerns related to issues causing the roster to appear incorrectly. They've addressed reported concerns related to drafts completing prematurely when choosing champions. Really? They've addressed reported concerns related to legends missing from roster when viewed in drafts. They've addressed reported concerns related to drafts being active on the calendar without the proper amount of participants in shows. They've addressed reported concerns related to supplemental drafts not triggering. They've addressed reported concerns related to viewing new superstars assigned to shows. They've addressed reported concerns related to rivalries not clearing when the superstars are drafted to different shows. Something else they've done is they've addressed reported concerns related to stopping users from creating group images from within the draft. I didn't even know this was a thing. They've addressed reported concerns related to the draft completing early. And then finally for the draft, they've added the ability to view previous draft results from the draft selection screen. So overall, Universe Mode in patch 1.07, it received a lot of new additions, but as I mentioned at the start with the whole catch-up sandwich with my wear and tear example, it's great, but it still appears to, still need a little bit more fine-tuning or touching. Overall, I'm still glad that Universe Mode is finally getting something, because man, we went so many years where they just wouldn't touch this mode. And the part that kind of scares me is knowing 2K in 2K27, will we not have any sort of updates? Will we go, we won't see another update until what, 2K30? I really hope not. But at the rate we're going this year, maybe we'll continue to see new additions being added into the game, because since they want to do this whole live service model, you need to keep updating the game. Like, there's no point in you trying to make this a live service game, but then you just half-ass the stuff. So we continue to get much more quality of life improvements for Universe Mode. I do think that the lifespan of this game will be a pretty long one. But, only time will tell. Let me know, man, your thoughts in the comment section below. Were you having any of these issues that they patched? Are you still having any Universe Mode issues since the patch? What do you think about the whole new systems like the wear and tear system? Because again, in theory, this is going to be a hell of a game changer, especially for content creators. But, that's just my whole opinion on it. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, go ahead and get up, stand up, stretch your leg out, and get ready to hit that like button with a sweet chin music. Hit it with a super kick just like HBK himself, who actually has a Peacock documentary coming out soon. I definitely will be checking it out. Pick up that subscribe button. I don't want you to power bomb it. I don't want you to even spear it. You know what we're going to do? I want you to throw it off of the ropes. I want you to pick them up in the air, and then I want you to hit that subscribe button with a pop-up Styles Clash. Because the Hall of Fame and AJ Styles himself, man, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame in another 2 weeks. But either way, man, I'm signing out. Take it easy.